Hi, my name is Caitlin. I am a fashion reseller on the Depop and Poshmark apps. My Depop is at Traveling Circus VTG and my Poshmark is at KDB. So I wanted to kind of get on here and talk about myself and give any kind of like context and like history or whatever. So I'm 27. I've been sober from heroin for about 4 years. I've been with my boyfriend for 3 years and I've had my dog for 2.5 years. In order to get sober, I had to move from Little Rock, which is where I was from, to Birmingham, Alabama. Things were just too accessible for me and it was not good. I had too many people that were willing to deliver and I was just too sneaky. I know that I don't look like a junkie, but like I was a junkie from hell. So I moved to Birmingham. I got sober through Heroin Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous and like the 12 steps and all that stuff. And after I'd been sober for about a year, I met my now boyfriend. His name is Levi, and he was working for the same sober living company that I was, except he was in Tampa and I was, obviously at the Birmingham location. They have like several locations throughout the Southeast. So he had come up to help us out because we just were overrun with like all kinds of craziness, didn't have the best leadership. So he came up. He was an excellent leader. He was excellently hot. He wouldn't talk to me for the first 2 days. And then I got him to talk to me and we fell in love. And we knew each other for like 2 weeks. And then he moved back to Tampa. After he had been back in Tampa for like a month and a half, I moved down. We moved in together and we've been together ever since. And it has not by any means been perfect or easy. And I'm sure anybody will tell you that that's been in a long-term relationship. But we just committed to each other and we've been with each other through some really rough stuff. And I am eternally grateful for him because I do not deserve the amount of like grace and love that he has shown me. I have a lot of like mental health issues as well as being an addict. So just because I was sober didn't mean that like all of those other issues went away too. So it took us a long time, or it took me a long time to like really get my meds figured out. I had developed some like really terrible panic attacks while we were down living in Clearwater, and they went on for like 6 months. I couldn't work, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't do anything, and it was just terrible. And eventually we got my meds figured out. I'm not on any like benzos or anything because I'm a drug addict and I cannot have those. But if you have panic attacks, you might want to try Buspar. That's the stuff. So yeah, I have a wonderful boyfriend who loves me and a wonderful set of parents who love me and a sister who loves me and a dog who loves me, and I have a great life and I don't deserve it, and I am eternally grateful to all of the people who have helped me out as far as like giving me guidance, and my parents have provided a lot of stability that some people's parents can't. So I fully acknowledge that I have like an inexplicable leg up because people are just kind, I guess. My family and my boyfriend they just feel bad for me, so they just keep helping. So it took me a long time after I got sober to like figure out what I wanted to do. I've now kind of decided that Poshmark and Depop is what's most fulfilling to me. I also am finishing up with cosmetology school, which is tons and tons of fun, and I love doing hair. But the reason that I decided I was going to go for reselling as like more of a full-time gig and not go like into a salon was because I've had a really rough time as far as employers go. I've gotten fired for the most ridiculous shit, like legitimately, and I'm sure that if you've ever worked in an at-will state, they will just fire you for anything, and they did. So one time I actually got fired because somebody, not myself, had downloaded a tic-tac-toe game onto the host's iPad that we kept like the seating chart on and stuff. So somebody had downloaded a tic-tac-toe game, so they call me on Christmas Eve and tell me that they're firing me because of the tic-tac-toe game. So that was cool. And like with all my, health issues, I also suspect that I might have an autoimmune disorder. I've not been to the doctor yet. One of my friends who does have an autoimmune disorder and is also a nurse said, hey, these symptoms sound like you might have something, going on. And I've been like really dizzy, and I mean like not regular, like room spinning. I mean like my eyes can't focus and my whole body hurts, and it's just, so anyway, that's what's going on with me. We just dump all my various issues on your doorstep, your emotional doorstep. Hello, it's my baggage. So, long story short, I basically have had terrible employers for my entire life. And I really cannot name one employer who was in any way concerned about like, what was going on with me or anything like that. I really hate that employers nowadays, like, they don't ask you what's going on. They don't ask you, why is this happening or whatever. Because, like, I have been dealing with these emotional and physical issues for a long time before I started doing this. So, and they would notice it, and I would oftentimes get fired because of things that were because of my issues. So, and I'm not trying to, like, sound like an asshole, but it really was, like, they were just bad employers. At-will states are a bitch, dude. They will fire you for anything. So yeah, shitty employers. And I was tired of having to work with people that I didn't like. And I was tired of having to deal with the public and like be nice to people that were really rude to me. Like the usual customer service dealing with humans thing. So I went into reselling because I just wanted to make like some extra money. I thought that maybe it could be a career, but I wasn't sure yet. So that's why I started reselling. Also, fun fact, the second largest producer behind big oil of waste on this planet is fast fashion. And we're seeing a lot of that, a lot of like H&M and Forever 21's going out of business and stuff like that. But the business that is growing is my business, is finding unique items at various thrift stores and finding rare items and reselling those online, because people don't want to buy crap anymore. Millennials, we don't like that stuff. We like some high quality shit. So it's been an awesome experience for me so far. There's a lot that goes into reselling that I didn't know was going to happen. Like, my whole feelings about myself some days are wrapped up in what I'm able to sell. And it just, because your business is like, when it's your own business, it's like an extension of you. If my business isn't doing well, it feels like maybe I made like the wrong choices in what I bought and decided to try to sell. So, and it's never really the truth. Like, I've been doing really, really well, and I love doing it. It is a metric shit ton of work though. You will spend your whole day sharing your pages. I'm really thinking about employing a virtual assistant because I'm just tired of sharing my pages. So that way I can have more time to like buy and then resell stuff and like photograph it, because that does take time too. I model all my stuff. I take a lot of pride in my photography and like how my items are presented. I want it to look clean, and I want it to have like a nice aesthetic, and I want it to kind of match the rest of my closet. So I do put in a lot of work. And some people, they don't do that, and they make just as much money as I do, and they sell Free People instead of vintage, and they make just as much money as I do. It just depends on really what you have access to, what you enjoy learning about, and the kinds of things that call to you. So I've gotten to the point where I can just spot a good vintage item just like a mile away, and I'm very proud of that skill, I will have you know. So yeah, I'm at about, I think like 400 or 450 listings, and I'm working my butt off, and I'm trying to make it work. So I guess my channel is going to be about you know, my journey within reselling. Do I stay in vintage? Do I start doing more modern styles? I also like just talking about like fashion history and stuff like that. Like when certain brands of zippers were sold. The obscure shit that I really enjoy knowing is just, it's absolutely ridiculous. But it's kind of, I mean, it's kind of cool to know so much about something that most people don't know. I also really enjoy that as far as like the home goods and the jewelry and stuff like that, I can like play with it until it sells. That's definitely one of my favorite parts because I get to play dress up every day. I get paid to go shopping every day. And that is just, it's so good. I'm so grateful. So I think I've covered most of what I wanted to talk about. If you have any questions about any of the things that I mentioned, or if you have any requests as far as like fashion history and like identifying certain things, let me know and I will be happy to satisfy. And if I don't know about it, I will learn about it and then I will make a video because I am a nerd. So yeah, that's me. Thanks for coming.